जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैता चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैता चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैता चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today, this evening, we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter number 5, entitled as The Glories of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And today, we're going to read from text number 29 till text number 34. So, text number 29 goes like that. यद्यापि केवलातान्रा क्रीडामत्र धर्म तथापि जीवेरे कृपया करे एका कर्म. Translation. Although his pastimes are his only characteristics functions, by his causeless mercy he performs one activity for the fallen souls. Text number 30. सालोक्या सामीप्या सृष्टि सारूप्या प्रकारा चारी मुक्ति दिया करे जीवेरे निष्ठारा. Translation. He delivers the fallen living entities by offering them the four kinds of liberation: Salokya, Samipya, Srishti, and Sarupya. Purport. There are two kinds of liberated souls: those who are liberated by the favor of the Lord, and those who are liberated by their own effort. One who gets liberation by his own effort is called an impersonalist, and he merges into the glaring effulgence of the Lord, which is called the Brahmajyoti. But devotees of the Lord who qualify themselves for liberation by devotional service are offered four kinds of liberation, namely Salokya, status equal to that of the Lord; Samipya, constant association with the Lord; Sarishti, opulence equal to that of the Lord; and Sarupya, features like those of the Lord. Text number 31. Brahma sayujya muktera taha nahi gati Vaikunta bahira haya tasavara sthiti. Translation. Those who attain Brahma Sahujya liberation cannot gain entrance into Vaikunta. Their residence is outside the Vaikunta planets. Vaikunta bahire eka jyotirmaya mandala Krishnere angera prabha parama ujvala. Outside the Vaikunta planets is the atmosphere of the glowing effulgence, which consists of the supremely bright rays of the body of Lord Krishna. Siddhaloka nama tara prakrtire para chit swarupa tanha nahi chit shakti vikara. Translation. That region is called Siddhaloka, and it is beyond the material nature. Its essence is spiritual, but it does not have spiritual varieties. Last shloka of this evening. Surya Mandala Yena Bahira Nirvishesha Bahitare Suryera Ratha Adi Sa Vishesha. Translation. It is like the homogeneous effulgence around the sun, but inside the sun are the chariots, horses, and other opulences of the sun god. Purport. Outside of Vaikuntha, the abode of Krishna, which is called Pravyoma, is the glaring effulgence of Krishna's bodily rays. This is called the Brahmajyoti. The transcendental region of that effulgence is called Siddhaloka or Brahmaloka. When impersonalists achieve liberation, they merge into that Brahmaloka effulgence. This transcendental region is undoubtedly spiritual, but it contains no manifestation of spiritual activities or veracidness. It is compared to the glow of the sun. Within the sun's glow is the sphere of the sun where one can experience all sort of varieties. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya चक्षुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति सा पदान्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपिशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चाते देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधार श्रीवासादि शिखर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते कदम कानन स्वामी नामने। So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, in this particular set of shlokas, we are understanding, or all the sages, even our Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisanta Maharaj, and the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, they are emphasizing every now and then the importance of taking complete shelter or surrendering ourselves at the lotus feet of Sri Mahaprabhu or Lord Sri Krishna completely without even looking into or getting merged into the effulgence of the Lord. And again, this impersonalism has been hit back, from different angles, even though this is completely a transcendental position. Even in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, text number 11, it's been mentioned Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti pramatmeti bhagavan eti shabdete. It's been said in the translation that learned transcendentalist, okay, who know the absolute truth, call this non-dual substance in three stages: Brahman, Pramatma, and Bhagwan. Okay, some people practice just to merge or just be into the Brahma Jyoti. Okay, and some people, those who are yogis, they see the Lord in their heart as a Paramatma form, and those people who accept the Lord in his personal form. So all these three stages are perfectly good, but there are levels of step. The complete knowledge, it comes in a Bhagwan realization, which a person, a spiritual practitioner, he or she accepts a personal form of the Lord. That means the Lord has a personal spiritual body, okay, like we have, but our body is been called material body. Lord also has eyes, nose, ears, tongues, belly, legs, hands, but all those features are completely spiritual. They are not like us, okay. And it's been also said the absolute truth is both subject and object if the person understand in a full extent, okay. Just like if a person is studying in PhD level, so he also understand there is a metric level which is called like secondary level, and there is also a level which is called fifth grade or sixth grade. So the fifth grade is like uh impersonal Brahman, and the metric has been called like Paramatma feature, and the PhD level is been called Bhagavan realization. But if the person who is studying only in the fifth standard and he doesn't want to study further, he says, "No, I am happy," and that is the end of the study. So that is not really nice. I mean, he has studied whatever he has studied, it's pretty well, but there is much more to study. But if he doesn't do so and if he doesn't understand, then his knowledge becomes incomplete. But he becomes matured and he wants to study further, and he goes to till metric or secondary education, which is like 10th or 12th standard in our term. And that is also good, at least he has raised himself. So that is compared to Paramatma realization. At least he's not just only accepting the effulgence of the Lord, he's also seeing the Lord in his heart. So it is somewhere he has improved in his consciousness to understand the absolute truth. But there's a PhD level which is called the full fledged. Okay, this is called the Bhagwan realization, that Lord has his personal form. He has his feelings, he has his emotion. He also likes then when people love him. Okay, and so whatever feelings we have, the actual root comes from the Lord. So this complete understanding is called Bhagwan realization. Okay, but not so many people accept all these things. So what we do now, so how do we understand this? So if somebody just only being happy just to merge into the Brahman effulgence, is he okay? More or less it is okay, it is better than he's been a materialistic person, but still it is incomplete, because that area, what is been said, that there is no variegatedness. That's what it said in the purport, there is no variation. It is just only merge, like there is an empty room and somebody just turn on the light and he just leaves you there for years and years, but there's no activity to do. So what will happen, he will become bored and then he will come out of that room. But when there is a room inside and there is a lot of service, then there is an activity, then person's senses are being engaged, and that's been called in the service of the Lord. Okay, so in a similar case, if we understand in our Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, Canto 2, chapter number 6. Okay, and this is a chapter where entitled as the liberation of a Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he's been called, he is the leader, and he was the leader of Mayavadi Sampradayas. He was so expert in his scholarly explanation, and he was training the sannyasis also. But it was the causeless mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He met Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya because he wants to open his eyes, and he wants to bless him with many ways. So once he have a debate with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he turns into be Vaishnava, because he was only just thinking that merging with the God, becoming one with the God is the ultimate goal of life. That's what he was explaining to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, you are a sannyasi. Why you are just dancing and moving around? You supposed to be sit at one place and just read Vedanta. And Mahaprabhu asked him, okay, what is the conclusion of the Vedanta? Vedanta means, Veda means knowledge, Anta means the last, means end. What is the conclusion of the Vedanta? So where does this Veda end? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord is saying, Vedascha sarver aham eda vidyo, Vedanta krita veda vid eva chaham. That to understand or to read Vedic scripture is to understand me, worship me, and love me. But here, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's explanation is something else. He's saying the Vedanta, it means to merge with the Lord, or with the effulgence of the Lord. And here, in this particular 4 or 5 shlokas which we just read, it's been explained that effulgence is just nothing, it's just the effulgence of the Lord. Lord Krishna has his personal spiritual body, and from that body, whatever the glow comes out, that glow is called Brahma Jyoti. And this Brahma Jyoti is been just outside the layer of the Vaikuntha. Even though the spiritual practitioner, those who wants to get a impersonal liberation, they don't even get into the spiritual world. They just only stay outside and merge with the Brahma Jyoti, which is called the glow of the Lord. Okay, and in the example is been set up just like a sun is like a disk, and sun has his sun ray, and there is a person who is the in charge of that particular planet. So that glow is been compared to effulgence, Brahma Jyoti, and the planet is been compared to Paramatma realization, and the person who is the in charge, he is a person that's been called Bhagwan realization. So these things are definitely, and time to time, it's been explained either in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, or Bhagavad Gita. So when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was explaining, the Lord gave his explanation, and by his blessing, he made him understood, and his jaw dropped. And he says, "Oh my God, I never heard such a beautiful explanation of a Vedanta Sutra." And Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes, Srimad Bhagavatam is the commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, which is called Brahma Sutra also. And then when he does so, when he becomes a Vaishnava, then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, by the blessings of the Lord, he starts seeing everything in relation to the devotional service of the Lord. So by in this spiritual ecstasy, one day he came in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he recited the shloka from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which Brahmaji recited in chapter 14. It's quite famous. Tatte anukampa susupikshamana bhunjana evatma kratam vipakam hritvat vapuribi vidhan namaste jivete ye bhakti pade sadaya bhakt. Actually, the word was mukti pade sadaya bhakt, but it turned out to be bhakti pade sadaya bhakt. And then immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Lord himself, he could hang on, Sarvam Bhattacharya, you did something wrong. Why did you change Mukti Pade to Bhakti Pade? And he gave him some time to explain himself, because he just want to hear what he wants to explain. And the Bhattacharya, he was saying, Ki, my dear Lord, one who seeks your compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his past deed, and who engages always in your devotional service with his minds, body, and word, which is all the sannyasis do, and who always offer obeisances, you in certainly a bona fide candidate to become your unallied devotee. But Lord says, Ki, no, this is not here talking about the devotional service, is talking about the mukti pade. But in his mind, mukti, because all of his throughout his whole life previously, he was understanding mukti is liberation. And that liberation stand, which we read, sarupya, salokya, samipya, sharisti, all those, and and sahujya, this all those he was thinking about that. But as soon as if we also see what mukti means, we also give this type of a definition. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya into another level. He says, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, whatever you said, I'm very pleased. Now you have a Vaishnava heart. But in this context, Mukti Pade also refers to Mukti Pada, which is at the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Krishna. And further, he explained, he said that means all this liberation which you just named, all this five kind of liberation, it stands underneath at the lotus feet of the Lord. That's why he's been called Mukunda. Mukunda means those who gives the liberation. But what kind of liberation is it? This five kind of liberation? Maybe, maybe not, but he gives that he delivers a person from this material world to the spiritual world. That's what he just explaining by hearing another beautiful explanation. I mean, he just understand, oh my god, that's very beautiful. And then further he explains that sometime devotees, they do accept all these five liberation, whatever we have just mentioned, they do accept in the service of the Lord. Okay, but as soon as the service is finished, they just drop it there. And the further Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he quotes from the Brahmanda Purana. He says, Siddha lokastu tamsha pare yatra vashanti hi siddha brahma sukhe magna daite chaharina hata. So he was saying in Siddha Loka, which we just read, ki Brahma Loka, he says there live two kinds of living entity: those who killed by the supreme personality of Godhead, like Lord killed Kamsa and Shishupala and many others. Say due to has been killed by the Lord in the previously, they go there. And those who are very fond of enjoying the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. Okay, and the word tamsha here means the covering of the universe, means the outside of the covering of the spiritual world, which is Vaikuntha. They go over there, they don't even get properly entrance into the spiritual world, either in Vaikuntha or in the Goloka Vrindavan. As we understand from the proper detailing, there are two types of spiritual world. One is Goloka Vrindavan, which is Lord Krishna stays there with the cows and all other is eternal associates. And the other is called the Vaikuntha, where his parts and parcels, like uh, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Narsimha, Varaha, all those planets are there, but they don't even get the access to go in there, because they don't have a desire and they never been understood the importance of the devotional service. All they want, they just want to be merged with the God, and they be called themselves ki they are the God. And but here, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he is refraining that no, this is not possible, you cannot do that, even though if you go there, but after some time you may again fall back into this material world, because there is no service. Because when there is a service, that service really increases the love of Godhead. Even though sometimes we just hear the goal of our spiritual life, the perfection of our spiritual life is to go back to Godhead, But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says ki, of course it is there, but more than that is the Pema Prumartho Mahan, the love of Godhead. You know, and in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, where Chitraketu Maharaj was being cursed by Mother Parvati, and he was happily accepting the curse, and by seeing the mother, she was astonished. Hang on, I just cursed him and he should be get upset, by me. But now he just smiling, and then Lord Shiva saying, look, Devi, what is the condition who is a pure Vaishnava? Narayana parasarve na kutashan api bibyati swarga apavargya narkeshu api tulyartha darshana. Whether they are staying in a heavenly planet, whether they are staying in a hellish planet, in any condition, they just want to serve the Lord. They just want to serve the Lord. And here, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says those people who wants to merge with the Brahma Jyoti, and he says ki this is a punishment being awarded upon them. It is a punishment. I mean, there is no such activity there. How long can you stay in that empty room? We have been seen just few years back. We have been hit through a pandemic called COVID, and whole world was seized into their room. I mean, people were staying in two-bedroom apartment, one bedroom, but even the big house is there, but they just want to get out, go to the park, go to shopping center, go to the office, go to meet other people. They are really fed up. If for just for some time we have been frustrated and we have been harassed mentally just to live in our own house, which we work so hard, and we are paying the installment, everything, we have been so fed up and we don't want to stay. So you can imagine where is the question where you have been left alone just in the Brahma Jyoti. It's not possible. And that's why here Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he's pointing out that ki, my dear Lord, this type of things, whichever you are thinking, this is the punishment is being awarded upon them. Okay. And that's why we as a Vaishnava, we should not look upon to it. We should not look upon to it, because until and unless there is a service, we have seen, if we don't do service for some days, our heart, it becomes hard. you know we don't like to chant, we don't like to read, we don't like to speak to people, we don't like to do any kirtan, any cooking, or giving a class or anything. But as soon as someday if you do some services, our heart has been so calm, so light. And then when we chant with that service heart, when we do the chanting, we can see how much we can relish the taste of the holy name. But this type of understanding only been applied or been awarded upon us when we are being blessed by some Vaishnava, when we are being blessed by the Lord himself, especially in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, you can see, all these Vedic scriptures, they have been filled up with all the three modes of material nature. That's where the Lord is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Tragunya Vishya Veda Nistragunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvando Nitto Satvastha Niryoga Kshemam Atmamam. All the Vedic scriptures, they are full of, they come under the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, it's not that this way the scriptures are there, the people who are into that, to elevate them, those people who are not doing anything, for them there are some scriptures which we call in mode of ignorance, so they can rise above. And those who are in mode of ignorance, they can rise to the passion. And those who are on the passion, they can rise to goodness. But this Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, nectar of devotion, these type of scriptures, they have been called transcendental scriptures. They don't even talk about how you can live in this material world peacefully, how you can gain your name and fame, the popularity, the wealth, and so, or the power, the mystic powers. If suddenly a people, he gets some kind of a magical tricks, if he learns from somebody, he start claiming himself that he's a god, and some foolish people start amplifying into the world, oh no, he does some magic, he's a god. But they don't even understand it is just a fragrant part. It just, if an ordinary person can do that big magic, what the Lord can do. you know that's why the Lord was saying to Shri Sharvabhauma Bhattacharya, yes, I'm very pleased that before you were hankering to become an impersonalist, okay, now you have changed into the Vaishnava. But here it is my advice to you, okay, even in your spiritual ecstasy, we are not supposed to change the words of the Vedas. Okay, let the words of the Veda remain as it is. Okay, even though we are on a spiritual very ecstatic path, we should not do it. If you can see in our daily practice, there are so many prayers we do, like when we say Shri Guru Charana Padma, and at the end many people they just sing, Dui Pad Leilo Sharana Prabhupada Patita Pravana. If you all see in Narottam Das Thakur, he hasn't written all those things. He just finished their Abejas Kusuk Tribhuvana. But where does this addition come from? Many other additions are there. I mean, who is adding it, and why they are adding it? Do they have a right to change anything? And same thing, if you see, like when we chant in the morning for Tulsi Arti, Vrindai, Tulsi Devi Ay, Priyaya Keshavaisha, Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi, Satyavate Namo Nama. But many people chant Krishna Bhakti. But what does the scripture says? Scripture says Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi. Srila Prabhupada, there is a letter also Prabhupada, and many times he's saying is Vishnu Pade. Even though if some people may point out that oh no, we are doing Bhakti of Lord Shri Krishna, these people only talks about where they don't understand, and they really don't understand what is Vishnu Tattva. Okay, there's no difference between Krishna and Vishnu. Krishna at home is Krishna, Krishna is in the office is Vishnu. So both have the same personality in different role. For that, does it mean that we are allowed to change the word of the Vedic scriptures? No, we are not that. We supposed to stick to that. Otherwise, why, you know, Prahlad Maharaj, he was praying to whom? He was praying to Lord Vishnu throughout his whole name. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. But who does comes out? Nrsimhadev. But he didn't pray to him, but he understood. No, he is the same Lord. He is the same Lord. He has appeared just to give me protection. Okay, but he accepted that. So the person who understand what are the Vishnu tattvas, they never play around with the Vedic scriptures word, or never change the words and the teachings of their spiritual master. So that's why here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's emphasizing Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He embraces him, and he was so pleased that now your heart has become the heart of a Vaishnava. And Mahaprabhu himself appointed him, this Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is a bona fide person. Please take guidance from him. But why did he do that? Once he imparted him all the Vedic knowledge, and then he checked him whether now his heart is still a Mayavadi heart or a Vaishnava heart, and then he allowed that now you have become a Vaishnava. Please kindly go and preach now, because you have already learnt a lot. Okay, and that's where he says he embraces him. He embraces him, and he says that I'm very very pleased with you, by seeing that transformation of your heart. I'm very pleased, but I have a very humble request. Let the word of the Vedas as it is, do not do any changes in there. And the same thing, if you read, if I'm not wrong, somewhere in one of the pastimes also, one of the Brahmana, he also does some changes. He writes something, and then he says, I don't like this, and he just scratch it, and he just scratched the word, and he goes to shower, and he asks his wife to cook for him. And as soon as he's away for his bathing in the pond, suddenly two boys come, one like fair body, one like black body, and they come, "Ki, your husband has sent us with all this, paraphernalia, all the, jewelries, clothing, rice, atta, dal, chawal. Please kindly take it and cook for him." And he says, "Ki, who are you? You plus come and sit. And why are you carrying all these heavy loads?" And he says, Ki, "Because your husband has forced us to carry." And suddenly she sees ki we refused to do service to him, but he has beaten us up with this stick. See the mark on our back. And when the wife sees, she gets upset. She says, "No, my husband is not like that. He's a brahmana, and he knows how to honor other people. That how come he can beat such a very very young child, like 4 or 5 years old?" And she was very upset, and she says, "No." So what she said, "Let my husband come. I will talk to him." And as soon as he comes from the bathing, and she speaks to him, and she says, "Why have you sent all these things, and why have you beaten the young boys?" And then when he understands, then he goes to his room and see in the Vedic scriptures the the writings or the words or the letters, he just took them off. They were back there again. Then he understood that Krishna has Balaram personally has come to rectify and put the Vedas back as they are. So that's why we need to take the lesson and understand all these things ki. Then how do we not change anything from the Vedic literature? Okay, if we don't read books and sometimes we just find somewhere in particular temple that ki some people chant this, some people chant that, so who is right and who is not right? That's why the Vedic scriptures are there. Prabhupada always says, always see the triangle: Guru, Shadhu, and Shastra. Make sure you match with these three things. If Guru is speaking what does the sadhus are speaking, and sadhus are speaking what the Shastras are speaking, if there three of these three triangles knowledge are the same, so that means the knowledge is perfect. But if you find any problem here and there, always consult the Vedic scriptures. Guru, where he's going to speak from? He's going to speak from the Vedic scripture. Where the sadhu will speak? Sadhu will speak from the Vedic scripture. So Vedic scriptures, it holds the highest position. So sadhu also seeks or gives knowledge from the Vedic scriptures. Guru also seeks and speaks from the Vedic scripture. So if you always find any kind of a contradiction, always look into the Vedic scripture. What does the Vedic scripture says? Otherwise, as you know, yogo nashta parantapa. As the time will go, people will come with their own ecstatic, they will keep adding more and more into that, more and more into that, and at the end of the day we will only just get the water, not the pure milk. If it's 20 gallons of milk, and if you just put a 1 spoon of water in there, in the beginning it doesn't make any cost, but still there is a change. And slowly every time, if another person, he adds on another spoon of water inside, but if you see the person who is on the 10th stage or maybe the 100th stage, he will only get the water. So it is a very heavy duty on us. So make sure we read the scripture properly, we understand the properly, and we pass on the scripture the way it is without any changing. Either it's singing the arti in the morning, or singing the arti in the evening, or even the Vedic scripture explaining to others, or chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamatra. Anything we need to give the way we have received from our seniors. That's why if you see, our movement has been flourished, and there are so many scholarly people are there. Of course people do here and there, tiny bit, problems are there. But that's why, but other Vaishnavas are there, so we should clarify everything from them. So let's get back to our today's topic here, which where we are trying to understand that which one is more powerful here. All the three ranks are beautifully equally powerful, but the Brahman is on the first rank, Paramatma second, Bhagwan is on a second, on a third. On a Brahman realization, I would like to add another point. It's called Sat. It's only eternity is there. Okay, the people who are practicing impersonalism, they don't like materialistic life. They understand they are spirit, okay, and they are not matter. But and they think they are eternally existing. But the chit form and ananda form is not there. The chit form comes when they start practicing Paramatma realization, when they see the form in their heart. So the chit is all. Sat is also there, which is called eternity, and Chit is also there, means called knowledge is also there. And when the practitioner becomes more matured, then he also sees in the Bhagwan realization, eternity, Sat is also there, Chit is also there, and Ananda is also there. Means eternity is also there, knowledge is all there, and blissful is also there. And there is an example I always give to explain this point, just like that. I've been to my friend's place, and we have two rooms there. And his mom, she is cooking gulab jamun. Okay, and me and two of his brother, like my friends, two of them. So we three are there. So one of my friend, he gets up and he says, "Oh, such a nice smell! My mom is cooking something." Only just my smelling, he becomes satisfied. He doesn't do anything. The second friend gets up, he says, now smell is very good, let me go and see what's my mummy is cooking. And he's going, says, oh, my mummy is cooking gulab jamun. Okay, that's fine. He comes back and he sits. Now I get up, I see smell is very good, let me go where it is. I went there, I saw, oh, she is cooking gulab jamun, and now my desire has come to taste it. So in my case, I smelled, I saw, and I ate. So whole complete realization is there. Ananda is there after if eating the gulab jamun. But in the case of my friend one and two, he only just smelled it. Other person just smelled and just saw. But there is no ananda. So that's why the bhakti is there. Bhakti has called eternity also. Bhakti has called knowledge also, and bhakti is called ananda in the service of Lord and in the service of the Vaishnava when we do it under the guidance of Guru, Goranga, and the scriptures. Okay, and other these things which we have just read, which is like five liberations: Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Sharishti, and Sahujya. All this sometime Vaishnava takes or they don't take just in the service of the Lord, but they don't care because wherever they either they live in spiritual world, either they live in material world, either they live in hellish world, or they live in heavenly world, wherever they live, they want to live, they only have only one prayer to the Lord. Oh my dear Lord, kindly, 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 don't allow me to forget you in anywhere in my life, wherever you want to send me, please. I am the puppet in your hand. Please, wherever you want me, because you are a swaraj, you are independent, you please send me, but don't let me go away from your bhakti. Okay, that's why this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so important. In Canto 8, in the pastime of Gajendra, Srila Prabhupada write in one of the shlokas, in one of the purport also, that we must practice, keep chanting mantras, especially the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Why? Because when we keep doing that, that Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if somehow other, if we blooped in this life, if somehow other we are not able to go back to this life, but by whatever practice we have done in our previous lives, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna will definitely award us somewhere in such an environment where we complete our bhakti and we can go back to Godhead. We can see in the case of this elephant called Gajendra. Okay, in his previous life, he was a king in the Dumna. He was reciting so many prayers, so many chantings he was doing, and by that when he got the for something, something happened in his life and he got a curse from one of the sages that he became an elephant. And when he became an elephant and when he was in a trouble, hold by the crocodile, then suddenly his senses came into in his consciousness. Okay, oh my God, I called my wives, I called my children, I called all my relatives, I called everybody, and there is no one there to help me out. I know who is the person who's going to help me. And suddenly he just took one lotus flower in his trunk and he offers up in the air, and he says, my supreme lord, this is for you. And he start reciting all those shlokas. So that's what Prabhupada says, we should practice, we should chant Hare Krishna mantra, Narsimha prayer, any other whatever the artis we do. And we have seen those Vaishnavas when they are in the last stage of their life. I have personally seen in Delhi and Bombay also, and other places, some young brahmacharis, those who have chanted, not only just the brahmacharis or any other Vaishnava, those who have chanted really seriously in their life. Okay, at the end of their life, when they are not conscious, they are really unconscious, they are lying on their bed, still they are doing their arti, still they are doing their chanting in their unconsciousness stage. Means ki on their externally, on the bodily platform, okay, they are completely gone, but in their spiritual practice, they're internally as a soul, they are still praying to the Lord. And with that prayers, it will help us definitely in our life. That's why constantly seriously chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, it will help us, it will take away all our ignorance. Instead of being trapped by this five kind of liberation, we can completely achieve the goal, which is prema pumartho mahan. Okay, thank you. I'll stop here and I would like to see if anybody has any questions or any comments or they would like to add something into it. Please go ahead.
Hey, Prabhuji, nice class.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I might say question.
Sorry Mataji, I didn't hear you.
There is echo. Whatever I speak, I hear it.
Oh, you are hearing your own echo. I think
Yeah.
we are okay to
Maybe
hear you. We are
two
okay to.
devices are on. Maybe your two devices are.
Yeah, you can turn off your one devices and see if it works. Others can speak meanwhile if she is
Hare
trying
Krishna.
to.
Thank you so much. Good night. Do you hear me?
Yeah, Mataji. Yeah, yeah.
The mention about the Kurti, some people say Krishna Bhakti Pade, some says Vishnu. So I today I came to know this, Vishnu is the right one.
Yes, Mataji. This is what it says in the Vedic scriptures.
But some book
Yeah,
I
there is a
say,
letter. There is a letter of Srila Prabhupada, and he's sending to one of his female shishya, and he's there. I am giving you three chanting things to do. One, how to pray to the Tulsi Maharani, and one mantra where you going to pick her up, and there's another one, and that's where Srila Prabhupada says is Vishnu Pade.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anybody else would like to?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And Pranam.
No.
Station path. Oh, same thing is happening, but only. Okay. Prabhuji, I like that example. Which one you gave about the mother is making love jam and like one goes, one he smells, other one goes and stays, but third one like you went and saw and you tasted all.
Yeah.
So means we can connect to that. Some people just say no about the spiritual thing, and some people do something and they go to Brahma Jyoti, right? But Vaishnavas with the sadhu and guru, we are just tasting at that bliss. So we can think about that, right, Prabhuji? With your
Yes, Mataji. Yes, yes. Because it says ki even though if we come into the contact of a bona fide Vaishnava, then we don't need to practice all those stages.
mm,
Yeah, if you
yeah,
see in Canto, sorry, not in Canto, in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, there is a
mm,
section called Yoga Ladder.
yeah,
If you have understood from your courses, if you have done any courses or this point there, they say like Karma Yoga, okay, कर्म
Jnana
कांडा
Yoga,
कर्म
Jnana Yoga.
कांडा कर्म योगा ज्ञान योगा ashtanga yoga and bhakti. So if you are in any of the level, okay, and as soon as you come into the association of a pure Vaishnava, then you don't need to practice all those
Yeah,
steps, you can straight
mm,
away go there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful. I like that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
very nice, very systematic you explain. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody else?
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji,
Hare
wonderful
Krishna.
class.
Sachi Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Wonderful class is always very nice examples. That's
This
all I want
Prabhupada's ki
to
mercy
say.
Mataji, this is Prabhupada's
Very nice.
blessing.
The examples make it easier for us to understand and then it's to your life. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Very well.
Okay, if it's not much there, and we should stop here, or how things going? Who is the MC here, or Zoom C, Zoom controller?
Nobody is here, Prabhuji, but can go. Include.
Okay, thank you so much everybody for coming. Srila Prabhupada ki
Yeah.
jai. Vanchakalpadrubhasya
Tatar.
cha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.